yours. Please be seated. Welcome, members of the Board of Trustees, international dignitaries, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, alumni, and all of your loved ones here before you today. But most importantly, welcome to the class of 2026. This is Gallaudet's 156th commencement ceremony. And today we ask all of you to remember that we are here to honor our graduates, the class of 2026. There are 365 days in a year, and there is only one day that is as monumental as this one. So let it be theirs today. This is a time for joy and a time for celebration. I am honored to stand before you here today to witness all of you graduating this afternoon. And with that, we will proceed with today's program, starting with the national anthem. Please rise. At Gallaudet, we support freedom of expression in our democratic society. And we recognize that there are some people who are not able to stand and some who would prefer to sit. Whatever that people do and choose, please be respectful of the decisions of everyone here in this audience today. And this afternoon, we have Kathleen Colon, who will be leading us in the national anthem. Kathleen, please come to the stage. Kathleen, that was beautiful. Thank you. Please be seated. You know, for many people who are here in this room, we are so grateful to have this opportunity to celebrate all of you. To the graduates, look around the room and see who's here. See those individuals who have helped get you to this moment today. This was not an individual journey, yet this required so much immense support and love and encouragement for so many people in order to be able to get to a day like today, especially when you thought that you were needed to give up. So look around the room and make eye contact and connect with the people who have gotten you here today. Some people are joining us via the live stream, so feel free to wave to the camera as well to show your love and support for them. And among the most important people who have helped you get to this moment today, none other than our faculty and staff. So please raise your hands and recognize them as they are here in this room. Thank you for all that you do. I wanted to thank you in particular for all that you have done in order to get these students here today. It's one of the greatest contributions of the Gallaudet University experience for what we're able to give to our students. So thank you for the support you've given them. You know, many people don't realize that the university is really run very much like a democracy. We have shared governance groups that contribute to leading and making the university what it is today. And we want to recognize these groups because they are very important to Gallaudet's ability to survive as well as thrive. That includes the Board of Trustees, some who are seated here on the stage, as well as in the audience, our executive team, the student body government, the Graduate Student Association, the Gallaudet Staff Council, and the Faculty Senate. These 6 governing groups, please wave so we can acknowledge you. We want to thank you for your leadership and your support and what it is that you do on a daily basis on our behalf. We have several international dignitaries and visitors that are joining us today. We thank you for traveling near and far to support our Gallaudet community. It means a great deal to us to see how global Gallaudet really is and how your countries and the students from your countries have an influence on us every single day. We are really a village standing before you all together today. And I would like to invite the president of the Gallaudet University Alumni Association, the GUAA, President Robert B. Weinstock. Please come forward.
Hello, everyone. Honorable members of the Board of Trustees, President Cordano, faculty, staff, students, alumni, families, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon to everyone, and especially to the members of the class of 2026. I congratulate you on behalf of the Gallaudet University Alumni Association. The GUAA is one of the oldest alumni associations in the United States. We were founded in 1889, and today we represent many thousands of alumni from all over the world. Many of you will soon enter your chosen professions. Some of you will decide to continue your studies. Wherever you go and whatever you do, know that you represent Gallaudet University and GUAA as well as you continue your life journey. GUAA wishes you all the best and looks forward to having you joining our alumni family. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite the chair of the University Board of Trustees, Jose A. Cervantes, known as Pepe, to share a few remarks.
Thank you very much, President Cordano. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hello there. Welcome, families, friends, faculty, staff, administration, trustees, and the class of 2026 to the 156th Gallaudet University Undergraduate Commencement Ceremony. All of you have worked hard to get to this moment today. It was not an easy journey. This class represents resilience. Many of you started your schooling during the peak of COVID. Some of you have lost family and friends during your Gallaudet journey. Yet, all of you are here today, and your presence is a testament of the resilience that all you have in overcoming barriers to complete your schooling and obtain your degree. This is your moment. Today is not just a celebration of what you have accomplished. It is a declaration of what you're ready to do. A Gallaudet education is unlike any other in the world. You did not simply come here to get a degree. You came here to be challenged, to grow, and to discover the depth of your own potential. In classrooms, in research, in community, you were shaped into the critical thinkers and problem solvers and leaders. All of you are ready to introduce yourselves to the world as Gallaudet graduates. The world needs what you have. It needs your perspectives, your tenacity, and the unique lens that a Gallaudet education gives you. Your communities, your professions, and your fields of research are waiting for you to step in and make your mark. This is your moment. You have done the work. Now it's time to lead. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations to the class of 2026.
Thank you, Chair Cervantes. Warm greetings and welcome to all of our distinguished guests who are here today. And again, most importantly, congratulations to the class of 2026. We are so proud that you've made it this far. We are here to celebrate with all of you today. We are here to celebrate your remarkable journey in getting you here today. In this moment, this is really the culmination of your sheer determination. This is your growth and your ready point that has gotten you here. With those who are here in this room, we are here to acknowledge and witness that growth, your perseverance, and your determination. And we are so very proud of what it is that we see before us today and that you have arrived at this moment. You know, what's interesting here at Gallaudet is that you've gotten your education in this environment, and I have to say there's no other place like it in the world. Gallaudet really is one of a kind in terms of being a university, but also a place of discovery, a place of being able to learn about oneself, a place to where you feel like you belong. And it's a place where you get to experience transformation while you're here. How that is made possible is because this is a home, a place that has been created to where you have that space to be able to discover, to learn, and to be curious about yourself and to be curious about others. Your learning is not just limited to the barriers of a classroom. Your experience of learning is woven to your everyday lived experience in being a part of this community. We all have that shared sense of purpose here at Gallaudet. We are here together. You live and breathe that experience, especially in the time that you have been here. For some of you, and for many of you, you've had additional responsibilities. And you've experienced challenges along the way. Some of you also had to work. Some of you have families that you need to care for. Some have elderly parents or even family members. And there are a variety of challenges that you've experienced, and yet you have made it through. And for that reason, this accomplishment is even more remarkable. It carries much more meaning because of it, for you and for many others who have witnessed your journey thus far. You know, it's fascinating because as you soon depart Gallaudet, there will be people and employers in particular who will note that you have certain majors and that you also have a degree from Gallaudet. But you need to know that the most important thing for what they are looking for, they're looking for you to be able to continue that ability to learn. They're looking to be able to see how it is that you show that curiosity. They want to see that you can think critically. And they want people who are able to adapt quickly and those who can serve as great team members. And all of those skills for what employers are looking for, you already have a part of who you are today. You are now leaving us ready to go out into the world. And in part, why I talk about that and say that so confidently is because that deaf and hard of hearing and deaf blind people, You've come to Gallaudet and you were already halfway there because of our lived experience. Your experience growing up, but even before getting to Gallaudet, you needed to have all of those skills even before you got here. And we just helped you hone those skills and got you even more ready to go out into the world. Here you were able to discover this whole concept of deaf gain and how your deaf lived experience adds to the world and how it really supports that sense of being able to be a resilient individual, to have awareness that really supports innovation and creativity. That deaf gain concept and knowing about that is really what the world needs now. Many of you notice that the world is changing so rapidly, right? You are now entering a time of one of the fastest changes that we will see, that we've experienced to date in the last 50 years, but even the time that is ahead, things will continue to grow even faster and quicker than they have compared to the last 100 years. And what's significant about your success is because of what it is that you've learned here. Continue to strengthen the skills that you've learned. Continue to be sure that you build on your understanding of the world and what continues to change. Make sure that you are aware of what's happening with technology. Some people talk about artificial intelligence, which, fine, I know that that is one thing that we see here happening today, but there is much more to come. And what's important for all of you is not just that these changes are happening, it's really about how is it that you're going to engage with that change. Don't let that change just happen to you and to you to accept it passively. Engage with that change. Shape the world for what you want to see, and that is your charge, your responsibility, and we are counting on you to do it. You know, often you'll see me say here at Gallaudet that we are most proud of the fact that we produce leaders, change makers, visionaries, advocates, and even future professionals that the world needs. And that's true. And guess what? You are it. You are becoming that future to be able to show what Gallaudet has produced. And are you ready for it? Okay, that was a weak response. Are you ready for it? Oh, that's better. I'm not sure that that was good enough, but I'll take that second one for now. And remember, you are really spotlighting and serving as the model for what Gallaudet is all about and what we embody in terms of our values. So live it out with purpose. Show the world the value and the mission of Gallaudet and the Gallaudet education that you have received. Show that to people as you go. You are our stories. Don't forget that. And carry the pride of the experience that you've had with Gallaudet. Carry that always, and carry it with confidence. Remember that you belong in every single room that you are in, and never take no for an answer. You belong in that room. Your lived experience, your perspective, your knowledge, your determination and perseverance is really what everyone needs in the world, and it has value. When you leave a room and you don't feel worthy, know that you are of value, that you are important, and hold on to that confidence regardless of what happens. You know, I can't say enough. You might be leaving today, and when we think about this time in history as a deaf, hard of hearing, and deaf-blind ally or even signer, thinking about the time to where we don't necessarily know what our future is going to look like, we see things with genetic engineering. Will that change who we are? Will it really impact the numbers of deaf and hard of hearing people and deaf-blind people and those who sign here and elsewhere in the world? We will persevere, regardless of what happens and regardless of what's coming, for one simple reason, because you are all here. You will be out there doing the work, representing and showing the value of what deaf people have to bring. And that's your calling after you leave here today. Am I clear? Has that been made clear? Good. And again, congratulations to the class of 2026. May the Bison spirit be with you and be a part of you as you travel on your journey. And remember to come home often. This is the home that will be here forever for you. So make sure that you come back to see us from time to time. And we're looking forward to seeing you again in the future, serving as alumni of our university. Congratulations. Now, I would like to take a moment to recognize our new class of professors who are earning their Professor Emeritus status. Today, we are recognizing 7 individuals who are retired faculty members, those who are now being granted the honor of being a Professor Emeritus and having that status. Their biographies are in your program book, so please be sure to read along and find that information. To read more about them, I'd like to ask each Professor Emeritus to come forward when I call your names. And please hold your applause until I call all of the names. I have to say that they are a very beloved group of faculty members, so if you could hold your applause, that would be great. So first, we will start with Beth S. Benedict from Communication Studies. Congratulations. Next, we have, I'm going to have you still stay on stage, yeah. Next, Arlene B. Kelly, Arlene B. Kelly from Deaf Studies. Congratulations.
It's an honor.
Sarah Burton Doliak from Physical Education and Recreation.
Thank you, Bobby.
Laura Ann Petito from Educational Neuroscience. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carolyn McCaskill from Deaf Studies and the Center for Black Deaf Studies.
Thank you, everyone. Much love.
Next, Elizabeth A. Moore from Social Work. Congratulations. And I also wanted to recognize one individual who could not join us for today's event. That individual is Benjamin J. Bahan from Deaf Studies. On behalf of the entire Gallaudet University community, we thank our Professor Emeriti for your many years of commitment to serving Gallaudet University, our students, and our community at large. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. So if I may take a moment to say that several of our faculty members who are now Professor Emeriti are also Gallaudet alumni. And the reason why I mention that is because This can be you in years to come. This is what you have to aspire to. Now I am delighted to recognize our distinguished honorary degree recipient for 2026. And that is a prominent Gallaudet alumni whose work in acting, directing, and advocacy makes him so very well deserving of this honor. And that is none other than, do I even need to say his name? I mean, I'm happy to do so, but that is Niall Lorenzo DeMarco. We will be conferring upon him the Doctor of Humane Letters. So please read, So please read more information about Niall and read more about his full bio and the citation in your program book. And before we begin with the conferral of that degree, I would like to also take this moment to say and to acknowledge that when I became president in 2016, Niall was starting to emerge on the national screen through entertainment, television, he even wrote a book. And I have been watching him over the years. And I have to say, it's so remarkable. I have not seen any one person with that level of visibility representing Gallaudet so well. I mean, you've really shown that spotlight on our name and our brand and the love of deaf children. He brings the love of sign language everywhere he goes and his love for the deaf community. And he never stops in doing that. And you probably never will, right? I am so proud to have you here today to present to our class. And I now would like to take this moment to confer the honorary degree upon Niall DeMarco. So will the Board of Trustees members please join me on stage? First, Chair Jose Cervantes, Trustee Mindy Greenland, and Greg Leibach, and then Provost Rashid. So today, Gallaudet University is proud to honor Mr. Niall DeMarco by awarding him the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
I really have no words to even explain how much of an honor this is and how it feels to be standing here. I mean, without the support of Gallaudet, its staff and its faculty and everyone here, this is all honestly thanks to you. You are the reason for my success. Thank you.
Now I would ask you, President Cordano, to formally confer the degree. Doctor Emeritus, Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Thank you so much.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Gallaudet University, I confer upon Mr. Niall DeMarco the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Thank you so much.
And now for a photo with the group. Congratulations, Niall.
This is a huge honor. Wow. All right. Oh, it's always so good to be back. It's so good to be back. First, I want to say congratulations to the incredible class of 2026. I am so proud of all of you. And I have to be honest before I start. The most terrifying moment I think I've ever had is this one right now. It's wild. I've been on live television so many times. I've been in front of millions and millions and millions of viewers. Nothing compares to standing here and being in front of my very own people. Nothing can beat it. Nothing can beat it. And, also, I have to admit, I actually never had a moment like this. This is a first for me because I missed my own graduation. I don't know if many of you know, but at the time I thought, I'm ready for the world, baby. And I got out of here. I was in such a rush to drink it all up. And, I thought I was a little too good for this, Now, I look back and I think, why did I not want to spend one more day here? I realize how incredibly wrong I was. I wish I had walked across the stage with my class. I wish that I could have just taken one more breath here. Honestly, sometimes I even get really bad nightmares of my graduation because I never walked the stage, which is wild. So today, being with all of you, it really feels like a full circle moment, and I'm hoping this is the end of the nightmares. Fingers crossed, I've done my walk. Gallaudet is such a magical place, right? This is just, it's incredible. It's incredible. There's nothing like it. I actually remember my very first night here at Gallaudet. I had been out off campus, partying. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and, we find ourselves sort of wobbling back. And mind you, back then in 2007, you couldn't walk alone in this neighborhood, right? You had to go in a group. And as we were coming into campus, we passed the statue of Leonard Clerk. And I looked over, and it just stopped me in my tracks. And I remember as I was looking at him, it felt like he was looking at me. And it made me think, if not for this man, there might not have ever been a Gallaudet. I might have never been stood in that spot. And it struck me so much, I took my favorite hat off, put it on Lord Clerk. I thought he looked charming. And I had some, we didn't have iPhones back then, right? I had, some little crappy digital camera, and I popped a picture of him. And I still have it to this day. I'll show you first, actually. So I still have that photo on my phone, and it's a favorite that I return to again and again and again, because that moment was so special. But I didn't really understand or realize why at the time. So back up. When I was about to graduate high school, I was supposed to be applying to multiple schools, but I took a gamble on only one, and that was Gallaudet. And it was because of its legacy, but also because of what happened when I was in 5th grade. In 5th grade, I decided to go to a public school all by myself. And it was an entire year of isolation, right? I couldn't just be a deaf kid, or I couldn't just be a kid. I was always branded as sort of the deaf kid. And I'd make friends with, some of the other hearing kids, but our conversations were always really rudimentary. It required a lot of effort. And I couldn't really get involved with, extracurriculars or groups or activities, and looking back, I realized in that environment, I couldn't thrive. So with that experience in mind, I knew Gallaudet was the only place for me to be. And Gallaudet is a utopia. This is truly a world like no other. It's perfect in so many ways. You see so many other students from other countries, other languages, other cultures and backgrounds, but we all seem to arrive to the same connection. We never fail at connecting on the same experience. It's universal. And when Gallaudet was signed into law in 1864, we were given this land outside of Florida Avenue. Now, Florida Avenue right now, as we know it, was nothing like back then. Back then, it was called Boundary Road. And Boundary Road essentially was the limit of the city, right? So DC was inside of it, and everything outside of it essentially was farmland, right? It was crops and acres of rolling hills, and that's where they placed Gallaudet. So think about it, right? It sent a pretty clear message. They wanted to give deaf folks an education, but they also wanted us to be unseen. They wanted us outside of the boundary and away from the city. And again, the focus was getting us on the other side of the boundary as outsiders. Remember that word. And I have to be honest with you, as a Gallaudet student, I was pretty mediocre, right? I was a math major and I planned on teaching. But I'll tell you, I earned more than a degree here. What I owe Gallaudet is so much. This university, being the only deaf university in the world, means that it's small, tight-knit, and oddly full of possibility. The great thing about Gallaudet was that it let me wander. I tried on jobs that I had never planned for. And I'll tell you, I even actually was a lifeguard here at one point. Think about it. Lifeguarding at a university for me? But the question was, why not? I did so much here. I jumped around and played in different roles. People asked me to try different positions, and I always said sure. And the point was that I wanted to help and to try. So in that, Gallaudet gave me something that would become my greatest asset in the real world, and that was adaptability. And I remember when I had graduated and when I was stepping outside of Gallaudet for the last time, I felt I'm never going to experience a place like this ever again. The utopia of it all. Because this place is so unique. So a year after graduating, my first real opportunity in Hollywood came about. And it was when I got cast on Switched His Birth. You might remember the show. It was a small role at the time, but I was very excited because it could have been much bigger, because I had the opportunity to become essentially the love interest for the lead, and if they made me a recurring character, I would be on starring across from Vanessa Morano more often. That became my foot in the door. So the Switched at Birth audition was great. They saw the self-tape that I sent in and tapped me for the role. They asked me if I was LA-based, and I said, yes, of course I am, when in all reality I was living here in DC. But I knew that, I could make it work, and so I, found the money, bought a plane ticket, and, I was in college. You guys know, college is expensive, you're broke, right? It felt like a fortune back then, but that was how badly I wanted it. And, I honestly wanted to believe in what was possible. So I flew out and started doing my homework with the script and getting my lines right, and as I'm reading through, questions started to emerge. Not necessarily related to the character, but more to the sign language that was going to be used on set and sort of what my use of ASL might look like best. And to give you a little bit of context, so my character actually was going to be working with another hearing lead who had just recently learned ASL, right? And so the question was, should I be signing fluently or should I be code switching to something simpler that they can understand, right? So I go to the director with my questions, and I said, hey, this person just learned ASL. I'm not sure if you think that I should sign fluently or if I should, give them a little bit of break. This is a hearing person who doesn't know sign that well. And he said, well, I'm hearing and I don't know ASL, so go talk to the ASL master. So I walk over and I tap the ASL master, and come to find out, he was hearing. And he said, you know what, go ahead and just sign fluently, because this is for TV. It's fine. And that really felt off to me. And when I thought about it, it was because this was a hearing person, again, telling me what to do with my own language and how to use it. And that was when I looked around the set. The director was hearing. The ASL master was hearing. All the writers from the writer's room were hearing. They were everywhere, all over set. And so this is a show, right, about the deaf community, focusing on deaf people, and yet none of us were in positions of decision-making power. And having recently graduated from Gallaudet, I realized what a stark contrast that was. Where here, the professors, the administrators, the decision-making leaders are here, and they're all deaf. So I grew up seeing deaf excellence in action. And now, don't get me wrong, Switched at Birth was incredible for 2014. It was a very different time. It certainly put deaf people on the map in a different way. Very thankful to then ABC, now Freeform, for championing the project. But they had taken a really big gamble at the same time. And it was the first show about deaf people that brought ASL into living rooms all across America. And it started conversations that hadn't existed up until that point. so after the show, I remember I was waiting for a callback and hopefully, be working on a recurring role that expanded. But the callback never came. And then, out of the blue, I get hit up on Instagram. This was 10 years ago, and DMs were a little bit new. It was America's Next Top Model, and they said, hey, Niall, we want you on the show. And I thought, that's a scam, right? You remember the old DMs? And I thought there's no way that it could be real. But at the same time, I had never modeled before, and I had never danced. I mean, I don't really count clubbing as dancing, if I'm being honest. Professional dancing, I would argue, is much different. But again, I looked back at Gallaudet and I was like, well, I had never lifeguarded until I did it at school. And Gallaudet gave me the permission to try different things with intention. And because of Gallaudet's ability to let me adapt and learn and change, I was able to say yes to both of those. And I understood that America's Next Top Model and Dancing with the Stars both were massive, massive stages where I could take advantage of the fact that they have such large viewership. Not just for my own gain and not just for a win, but again, to reframe how hearing folks understand the deaf community. And also to bring our stories and our experiences to 50 more million people who had never thought about us in that way before. And, after that, I thought, okay, I've got a couple wins under my belt, for sure. Things are gonna come easier. Couldn't have been more wrong once again. That was not the case. As I started to meet with writers and producers and directors, they were tapping me for projects, and it was always the same conversation. We love you and we wanna work with you, and we're really excited to find a project that we can work together. And over and over and over, they told me the same thing. But we don't know how to write you in. And that really stung, and I want you to remember that, right? They didn't know how to include me. And they weren't sure where to find a deaf writer, a deaf producer, a deaf director. But keep in mind, this was 10 years ago, so there weren't any to be found. And, I'll admit, we've had progress, but there is still work to be done. And, I thought back to Deaf President Now and to the 4 student leaders who came to this deaf Mecca, only to find that the administration were all hearing. Those who made decisions about us were not from our own community. And that's why they formed a revolution. They knew that we deserved to be led by one of our own. And then I thought about Boundary Road, right? I thought back to the fact that they gave us an education, but still, they put us outside of the city. To them, we were unseen. And then there was Hollywood, standing there willing to make a show, and they're willing to make a show about us, but not with us in the creative rooms. The director, the producers, the writers, all hearing, making decisions about our stories, about our lives, and about our community. Sounds familiar, right? And I revisited that night at the statue with Lauren Clark, of him looking back at me. And it got me thinking about my experience here at Gallaudet. I remember dabbling in various jobs, and I tried some really fun things, succeeded in some, failed in others, but one thing remained the same. I was never afraid to explore. And that was when I thought, okay, I'm ready to take the lead and try something new. So I established my own production studio called Clerk Studios. And of course, I decided that I would name it after him. One of our own, because everything that we build should point back to essentially where we came from. The mission was simple: to produce deaf stories and to hire deaf creatives. That's it. With Deaf U, we had over 50% of the folks on production come from the community. Our short doc, Audible, went all the way to the Oscars, nominated for Best Short. And finally, with Deaf President Now, we had over 40 deaf members of our crew working to create that film. And for the first time in Hollywood history, we established a new position, a role called the Deaf Lens Producer, something that had never been done before. It's a first in Hollywood history, and it's important. And it goes to show that we're not just telling deaf stories, but instead, we're balancing the power dynamics that are happening behind the camera. So again, I remember back to stepping outside of Gallaudet and feeling that I would never experience that utopia again. But I do. With every deaf creative given a seat at the table, I feel that we're slowly inching closer and closer to that utopia that I once dreamed of. I think we can see it. And so I'll tell you, that is what Gallaudet prepared me to do. Not just to survive in a hearing world, but to change it. Keep in mind, I came here as a math major who wanted to teach. And the funny thing is, it seems like I'm not teaching anymore, but I am. I never stopped. I just have a much bigger classroom, right? I'm now teaching through TV and film. So graduating class, when you leave this place, remember what Gallaudet gave you. They gave you adaptability. And Gallaudet gave you identity, as well as the courage to explore. And those will be your greatest assets. The hearing world will not always know how to write you in. But it's important that you know that is not your limitation. That is their limitation of imagination. So go and be your most authentic deaf self first, and then go adapt. Go change things. The world needs exactly that. Stay true to yourself and stay true to Gallaudet. Congratulations, class of 2026. You did it.
That was wonderful, Niall. Thank you. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome the undergraduate student speaker chosen by the Faculty Student Affairs Committee, along with your student, with the students as well, the person chosen to address you today. And that student is Christopher Salt Morton. And you can read his biography in your program book. So Salt, please join us on stage for your address.
Wow. There's some incredibly remarkable people in here today. I want you to join me in recognizing the Board of Trustees, President Cordano, administrators, and our amazing faculty and staff who have contributed tremendously to our academic achievements. And contributed to our education, to our families and friends who came here to celebrate with us from far and near. Now let's turn our attention to those right in front of me today. Stomp on that floor. Wave those hands. Shout from the stands. And give the largest round of applause you can to the class of 2026. I want you to reflect on the day you took your first step onto campus. When you first enrolled, some of you had already decided on a major, while others were still undecided. Some even changed majors halfway through. Some enrolled with expectations on graduating in 2, 4 years. Some took longer. But you know what? Life happens. So the question we begin asking ourselves, am I behind in life? You're not. You're here, and you're right on time. Now that we are all sitting here in awe of our accomplishments, there's going to be a day when you ask yourself, but at what expense? the 20 cups of coffee, the frequent technology issues that nearly made us pull out our hair. It was at the expense of learning the value of hard work. The discipline and serves as proof that we are capable of achieving anything we commit to. And learning together. We are here where legends once stood. Legends that struggle during Deaf President Now. A life-altering movement that general society just deemed dismissive. They fought tooth and nail through their own sacrifices to ensure that Gallaudet reflected what they wanted it to be. And over time, those sacrifices changed the course of history for our communities. And we are forever changed because of those leaders. So today, we stand here in honor of Deaf President Now leaders, their sacrifices. All of those sacrifices from those leaders led us to where we are today, with living proof sitting right in front of us, President Cordano, who is living proof of those impacts and continues to carry on that historical movement moving forward. And we'll continue feeling this impact throughout our lives. So graduates, as we sit here representing Gallaudet University with pride, look to your side. See who's sitting next to you, someone you may have never crossed paths with. Look at the person next to you and acknowledge another legend in the making. Because as we graduate today, we are representing what it means to be a Gallaudet graduate, while paving our way in the next chapter of our lives. I enrolled at Gallaudet University in 2024 after someone dear to me got accepted. Claire. She just graduated with her master's this morning. I am proud of you. It was her dream to get accepted here. And when she did, she encouraged me to apply. And so I did. And today, after all this time that flew by, we are graduating together. Thank you, Claire. Being a full-time online undergraduate student certainly had its challenges, and it was difficult to navigate. In just 2-3 months, my grandmother passed away, and it was hard on my family, especially my mom. During that time, I had a glimpse of the importance of the role of a mother in a child's life. They really are the glue that holds the family together. Thank you, Mom. Furthermore, I grew up with a plethora of medical issues, struggled with changes in weight, multiple surgeries, lived with multiple tubes throughout my life, and most recent experience was my vision deteriorating, which got me to the point where I had to really, at points, even rely on others for guidance. It was terrifying. I couldn't work as an interpreter or as a translator, which was part of my work, but I did learn something. It goes without saying that through all of the hurdles we face, I have to really thank my parents. I don't know all of the sacrifices you made, nor will I ever understand. But one thing I am confident in is that if it weren't for your sacrifices, I wouldn't be here today. I've learned so many lessons throughout my life, so many valuable lessons. These setbacks have taught me patience, for it is truly a virtue. It has also taught me that when you can't find a way to make a breakthrough, sometimes when you're faced with that, you have to pave the way for yourself, because one way or another, should your heart and mind align when pursuing a goal, the only person that stops you when you think about it, just look in the mirror, and that is yourself. As Martin Luther King once said, you don't need to see the rest of the stairway to be able to take the first step. Nothing aligns into place unless you take that first step. So take the first step. We all have challenges, and many more you will confront in the chapters ahead. But let's use Henry Ford as an example. It took him 20 different prototypes, 20 different prototypes, until he was able to release the first car, the Model T. You may not succeed at first, but as long as you don't give up, it is always possible. Take that first step. I want to point out to some of our historical figures in our community that have had impact around the world. I think of two immediately who contributed to MLB baseball through their creation of hand signals for forms of communication in the field, whether it be save, touchdown, strike out. That was William Hoy and Ed Dundon. The world has learned from them because of our community. Someone we also must recognize, Claudia Gordon, who is the first deaf Black attorney in the United States. Also, another Gallaudet alumni, and some of you might know football, or soccer, or basketball, and know the huddle, the famous football huddle. That was invented and created here at Gallaudet University by Paul Hubbard. These are our own people that have changed the world. They did not do it alone. They had support. And so did I. For me, it was Professor Zugutov, Professor Burgess, Professor Decker-Wright, Professor Pica, and for my online support, Cheryl Mergel. I don't know where you are in the audience, but I know you're here. So thank you to each and every one of you. Much love back there, yes. So take that first step. Do it. During my walk across the country from California to New Jersey, in the span of a year, The first steps were the hardest, but there are a few things that I learned that really made a significant shift in how I approach circumstances throughout every step I take, and how it's helped me to grow. And there's some virtues and values that I would like to share with you about what I learned. The first one is vulnerability. It is not a weakness. In fact, it is one of the most powerful yet human acts we can do through introspection that truly ground us as people. Accountability. Despite our intentions of being good, at times there may be unexpected harm being caused. It happens, and accepting such faults is necessary. It allows you to grow. The next one is illumination. No matter the circumstances we face, the struggle, or moments of defeat, it is all temporary. There is always that light at the end of the tunnel. Keep your eye on it. You must be patient. Next, we have integrity, the ability to choose and do what is not only right, but necessary, while not betraying yourself to gain something at the expense of your morals. Be true to yourself. Next, we have transparency, which means to reveal yourself for who you are and not who we pretend to be for the betterment of others. Embracing our faults, our flaws, and parts of ourselves we've tried so hard to hide to inform others that they are not alone. Be you, be your whole self. So that spells out valid, V-A-L-I-T. Not a word, obviously, but you know what? Let's play around with the letters. What about vital? You are vital. You are vital in this world. As Malcolm X once said, education is the passport to the future. For the future belongs to those that prepare for it today. Your proof and your journey here, please show the world who you are, what you're capable of. Mind you, remember I was an online student, but I'll be back. I will be back. And one more time, stomp on those feet, raise those hands, shout from the stands, and congratulations to the class of 2026. You did it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Christopher Salt Morton. President Cordano, it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Tanya Strumlau, Chair of the Gallaudet Faculty, who will present the candidates for college degrees. President Cordano, upon your recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor of presenting the candidates to you. Will all the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science please stand and remain standing? Stay standing. President Cordano, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the appropriate degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Gallaudet University, and consistent with the standards set forth by the faculty, I confer upon each of you the appropriate degree with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. So move those tassels to the left. Please be seated. Dr. Rashid, please come forward.
Congratulations, class of 2026. I'm thrilled for you. Before we proceed, we would like to honor the memory of former student, cherished classmate, Mohammed Abdalal. Member of the class of 2026, we will honor him by taking a brief moment of silence. President Cordano, I will now call forward the students who are graduating with an undergraduate degree conferred with university honors. They are graduating today with full university honors, which requires rigorous academic coursework and successful completion of a capstone project. Would the students graduating with full university honors please come forward? Julia Elizabeth Braunberg, Bachelor's of Science in Biology, cum laude. Courtney Rose Bronson, Bachelor's of Arts in English and Theater Arts, summa cum laude. Andrew Crawford, Bachelor of Science in Biology and Public Health. Edgar J. Delatorre. Neela H. Iadi. Tyler Christopher Fursland. Summa cum laude. Ella Lou Gamble. Summa cum laude. Carter Riley Johnson. Summa cum laude. Ciara Whaley Luttrell, summa cum laude. Samantha Ray Michelson, summa cum laude. Frederick William Scott, summa cum laude. Ella Celine Stromberg, summa cum laude. Maisie Grace Ann Wilcox. I now ask Dr. Caroline Kobek-Pezzarosi, Dean, to come forward to present the recipients of undergraduate degrees.
First, let me congratulate the class of 2026. I will now present the students who are graduating today with undergraduate degrees from our 5 schools. Many of our graduates have demonstrated academic excellence and earned their degrees with distinction. Cum laude with honors recognizes students with grade point averages of 3.4 or above. Magna cum laude with high honors is a grade point average of 3.6 or above. Summa cum laude with highest honors is for those students who have achieved a grade point average of 3.8 or above. I will identify these students as they are called to receive their degrees. Muna Mukhtar Abanur, summa cum laude. Yasmin Assam Abdakarim, cum laude. Zoe Riley Abrams Gay, summa cum laude. Priscilla Acosta Feliz, summa cum laude. Bodhi W. Agas, Jacqueline Amber Albert, Raymond A. Alcocer, Abdullah M. Al-Ghamadi. Sarah Mahdi Al-Ghamdi. Tamara Nicole Allen. Ferris Omar M. Al-Shamasi. Summa cum laude. Fahad Abdurrahman F. Al-Tuwaim. Olivia Armstrong. Brian Arroyo Valencia, cum laude. Raja Kamira at Agri. Clark Barrett. Nicholas M. Barron. Dawson Wayne Bashaw. Nathaniel Warren Baxter. Christian Bagani Mayorga. Tanasha Monzel Bennett. Andrew Nicholas Bibbs. Matthew Bagoda. Kelsey August Nicole Bird. Levi B. Beiser. Revelyn Dalton Bonamo. Nicole Pauline Braddock. Candace Kiana Broadnax. Tosca Broadway. Jazalina Lemoyne Bumbala. Talia Marie Bunda. Ashley Nicole Burns. Travis Carrizales. Shem Lee Castillo. Joe Caracello. Iris Darlene Childers. Magna cum laude. Brandon Chung. Dania Joyce Collins. Nayeli Colmenares Rodriguez. Cum laude. Kathleen Carmen Marie Colon. Magna cum laude. Tyler Gage Connor. Ashley Lynn Corcoran. William Coy Gonzalez. Eric A. Cuellar Ramos. Cha D'Angelo. Kiobaka Dabutha. Cum laude. Kevin Danielson. Danielle Davis. Derek Maurice De La O. Macy DeGraw. Walter Douglas. Dylan Duarte. Megan Gabriella Dukes. Bex Marie Duncan. Mohammed Hashim El Samani El Sheikh. Jarius Andrew Evans, graduating cum laude. Jacus Figueroa. Matthew Flores. Traz Alyssa Freeman.
Sasha Gladding. Mark Daniel Goings. Aspen Brielle Goldstein. Jasmine Shanae Green. Marcus Noah Gilio. Lataria Q. Hampton. Javon Renell Harmon. Saja Hassan. Nicole Danielle Haynes. Elgin Mikan Habrado. Zane Vanny Henker. Stephanie Jean Herring. Jared Hilaire. Zanibel I. Hogland. Summa cum laude. Donovan Anthony Holmes. Ricky Allen Hubbard. Cum laude. Jacob Alexander Huntley. Cum laude. Kenya C. Iguawu.
Jasmine Jimenez Lara.
Taryn Johnson. Hannah Judith Johnston Shaw. Muhammad Khan. Min Chan Kim. Jalen L. King. Danielle Jonna Kinner.
Elijah Amos Lee.
Cody Nelson Lee, summa cum laude.
Daslin Natori Lopez. Magna cum laude.
Ebony L. Love Peel. Citrine Lallen Loomer. Magna cum laude. Zola D. Macaulay. Drayvon M. Mackle. Kimberly Frances McLeod. Magna cum laude. Adam Massani.
Kelly M. Marquez Carvajal. Cum laude.
Arizona Sting Marsh. Magna cum laude.
Cotis Martinez. Magna cum laude. Sofia A. Martinez.
Joe J. McInnes. Azaria Aye Jadi Yadi McKinnon.
Mel Nicole Mejias. Cum laude.
Tate Lee Merriman. Cum laude.
Avery Grace Mesa.
Trent Mora. Christopher Salt Morton. Reza Justine Mosher. Justin Audley Machete. Marquise R. Nash. Zarek Aiden Nathanson. Zafan Ellen Nathanson. Amala C. Onyuke. Idali Pacheco. Pooja G. Parmar. Miguel Pavao. Nakai Payton. Ray Noel Pukish. Hillary Rose Ritter, graduating magna cum laude. Diana Rosario, graduating cum laude. Mario Rosario. Joshua W. Rutherford. Jennifer Salas. Chloe Jaina Saunders, graduating magna cum laude. Jet Amos Saunders. Sunita Schmidjorg. Kate Michelle Scott. Michael Seidman. Chandler Ross Sexton Ruiz. Genesis Simpson. Ray Stephen Sioko. Victor Sitali. Louisa Parker Shevland. Graduating summa cum laude. Max Shevland. Caitlin Rose Smith. Jennifer Renee St. Pierre. Graduating summa cum laude. Etasha Stone. Julia Elizabeth Stone. Chikako Tamaki. Fernando de Jesus Tejada Lamar. Belinda N. Toledo. Graduating cum laude. Delta Malosi Vienna. Azeb Visco. Enza Visco. Gisela April Visco. Graduating magna cum laude. An Tien Vo. Graduating summa cum laude. Brandon Ridri Washington. Kelly Elaine Webster. Hannah Weiss. Bella Rose Williams. Dorothea Elise Williams. Gianna Catherine Wilson. Jesse McCoy Wilson. Joshua Sebastian Wajnar. Sonia Marie Woodyard. Naisha Alexandra Wright. Carmelita Saucedo Yalcin. Alona Svati, graduating summa cum laude. Elvis Gascon Zornosa. Enos Luis Zornosa. President Cordano, this completes the awarding of undergraduate degrees. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Congratulations! Welcome to the newest class of our Gallaudet alumni. May Gallaudet forever be your home. And may the Bison spirit stay with you and be a part of you on your journey into the future. Again, congratulations. And now, we want to invite the Bison Song team to the stage to lead us in a song.
We're done. We're at.
What a wonderful way to wrap up our program here today with some of that bison spirit. This concludes our program for today, so please join us for the reception, which is being held at the Jordan Student Academic Center, which all are welcome. So please stand at this time and remain standing for the recessional. We ask that you wait until everyone on stage and everyone here has an opportunity to leave. But again, congratulations. Will Professors Emilia Chukwuma and Daniel Lundberg please come to the stage to lead us in the recessional?